from an unconscious standpoint, your buyer is thinking of every other quote they've ever got where they were ripped off. Now, so in sales, I always say the negotiator who wins the most does something that's called controlling the emotional bias of the other person. So if you ever think about somebody that you like your spouse, right? If you're happily married, every now and again, your spouse probably does something that just like pisses you off. And in that moment of your spouse pissing you off, your brain isn't thinking, oh my gosh, I love my schnookums. Your brain is thinking about everything else they've ever done wrong. So when we present the quote, you are not presenting as a salesperson to a buyer because that's not the competition that's happening. From an unconscious standpoint, your buyer is thinking of every other quote they've ever got where they were ripped off. So you want to make sure presenting the quote ties everything back into the things they said initially. All that's great because transparency builds trust. And the higher trust, the higher ability to control that emotional bias, the more your closing percentages go up. However, you have to lead with context, not just numbers. So, hey, here's the investment range most families in your neighborhood choose, and we can make that fit comfortably. Is this a potential opportunity for you? I also love the most families in your neighborhood line because most families says, hey, you know what? You're not the first person to consider a pool, and we've done that for them. However, if for any reason at all you do want to finance, we can increase that range and add in some of those things we talked about, such as an easy slope for your children coming in, and so that they can enjoy their summer peace of mind. So make sure that if you're going to mention financing, you're not just like, oh, it's $10,000 down and then 3% for the next 2 years. Like, stop that.